The Jets beat the Eagles 20-14. First time Jets have
Our
ever
Costanza,
beat the Eagles.
we said one of the 4 Costanza matchups would win. Turns out 2 of them did.
We should just as a rule parlay the Costanzas. DK,
Yo,
we were talking about both these games, but do you feel like the Niners and the Eagles lost these games? Or do you feel like the Browns and Jets defenses won these games?
yeah, I mean, obviously, you have to say when you're analyzing these games is like these great teams lost to backup quarterbacks, but in reality, their defenses were just ridiculously good. Starting off with the Jets, who got 4 takeaways from Jalen Hurts. Well, I guess 3 from Jalen Hurts, and then a 4th from, I think it was DeAndre Swift lost a fumble. So I don't know. The defense on both of those games, both Cleveland and Philly, or New York, I should say, were both incredible. I just think it was a little bit striking to me today because in the modern era, especially when we're so focused on fantasy football, it's like offense dominates the conversation. Offense dominates the entire narrative most of the time. In fact, the old adage, defense wins championships, I don't even really know if that's true anymore based on like how the NFL has evolved, based on the way that rules have evolved and they favor the offense in almost every way. In reality, it's like quarterbacks win championships. It is the new sort of paradigm in the NFL. And if you look back at the last 10 Super Bowls, I think probably 80% of them, 8 out of 10, were just like really good offenses or really good quarterbacks dominating. So I don't know. I thought this was just a day for defense.
It's almost the opposite because the full adage is offense wins games, defense wins championships, right? Isn't that what people say? But it's actually inverted now. It's kind of like defense wins games, offense wins championships. It's like the defense is able to stymie Brock Purdy or stymie the Eagles for one game, but like over the course of a season, the quarterback and the offense is going to be the thing that matters the most.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that caught my ear was I think Nick Saban said that 3 years ago. And he used to say like he literally was like, yeah, defense used to win championships. And he's like, I'm telling you that it ain't that way anymore. And that's why Alabama went from playing the way Alabama used to play to having like a real ass offense and having like, now they're like, all right, I guess
like
we
modernized.
need the best receivers now, begrudgingly. And now they just have 4 first-round picks every year or whatever. But yeah, to your point, DK, I mean, I would say the only defensive Super Bowls last year, your Seahawks defense, that
was
Broncos,
10 years ago now.
The Broncos defense, and I would argue the Patriots the Patriots, the last one with the Rams, that was really a defensive Super Bowl. I will say that the Brady Bucks one, the Chiefs had 9 points in the game. But to your point, their offenses that are winning.
I guess the adage is defense wins championships, but like those Super Bowls were defense oriented, but like on the whole, those seasons were dominated by Brady.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, obviously, whatever. We're just talking about a saying, but at the end of the day, to me, it was kind of crazy seeing a high-powered offense like the Eagles lose to this Jets team with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Like, that is wild. We just need to take a minute and appreciate that this Jets defense, has now toppled some very good quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, man, the Jets have beaten the Bills, the Eagles, and they should have beaten the Chiefs in 6 weeks, the Jets. I mean, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And obviously with Zach Wilson the entire time. I mean, they beat the Bills, the Eagles, and almost the Chiefs in the first 6 weeks without Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's impressive what Saleh is doing with this team. And I got to say, with Zach Wilson specifically, since that Chiefs game, he's been okay. He hasn't been that bad. I actually think he kind of looks like a different player, a little bit. This is going to sound crazy.
He doesn't look atrocious anymore, which I think is what you're getting at. Yeah.
He looks like he's matured, to be honest. Like he's like making smarter decisions. He's like not being a maniac and trying to Josh Allen everything, because nobody can do that except Josh Allen. Even Josh Allen can't do that sometimes. But I got to say, I don't know if I'm getting like, Jedi mind tricked because Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets and is on the sidelines. But there are moments when Zach Wilson, this is going to be so dumb that I'm saying this. There are moments when Zach Wilson is throwing a ball down the sideline that he kind of looks like Aaron Rodgers. Like he kind of throws like Aaron Rodgers, and he throws these like slinging deep balls down the sideline, kind of like these back shoulders. And I'm like, kind of has Aaron Rodgers vibes on those specific throws, nothing else.
Dude, you know how when you're growing up and your favorite player or someone that's on your favorite team, you like totally emulate their style? So for instance, when I was growing up, I would emulate Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing, and then later on it was Ichiro. Or whoever. And then like when I was really younger, I was like emulating Gary Payton's shot or whatever. And I feel like just being in Aaron Rodgers' presence is probably rubbing off on him. By the way, I think he was He was compared to Aaron Rodgers a little bit when he was coming into the league because he has just a whip-like, really quick motion when he's throwing the football.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers looks like he's like throwing a baseball to first to me when he throws.
Yes.
Like he has that like flick, almost like he's throwing a dart. And there's a little bit of that in Zach Wilson. Maybe he's copying him. It's like when Americans go to London, then they come back and have an accent.
Yeah. They say, I reckon. Yeah.
No, I think you're totally right. I think Zach Wilson is
Where's
also
the
pretty
loo?
into RFK Jr.
Sorry, Heifetz. What
did you say?
Oh, no. Zach Wilson's also going to vote for RFK Jr., so I think you guys are totally right.
He probably will.
Probably will.
Yeah.
No, I think so. The Jets, I think, look, I think you're totally right. One, Zach Wilson's 24. Like, I mean, he doesn't have to be the worst quarterback ever forever. And then I totally agree he's getting better. I think the Jets defense, Jets fans that kind of have a weird relationship with Robert Saleh. I've always thought he was great. I felt very vindicated today. I think he's the right guy, like personality wise, to handle the Jets team. But like, holy crap, they've played Jalen Hurts. First of all, Jalen Hurts career high, or tied for his career high, 3 picks. The Jets have now created 10 turnovers versus Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, and Josh Allen and those teams. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So the caveat here is the Eagles were like the healthiest team in last year in the league with the Super Bowl, but today they didn't have Lane Johnson, their right tackle, got hurt. Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle, Darius Slay, the cornerback, Avonte Maddox, the cornerback, Reed safeties, Reed Blankenship, Justin Evans. That's what an Eagles fan would say. Here's the thing. The Jets have way more guys who are hurt than the Eagles. That's what's so impressive about this game to me. The Jets were out their top 2 starting quarterbacks, 2 backup cornerbacks. Never mind. The quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, is supposed to be on this team. The Jets lost their best offensive lineman, Elijah Vera Tucker, their other left tackle, Dwayne Brown. I'm like, they still kind of rocked Philadelphia. Like, this team, I know this is a stupid thing to say, and we like have been over this for a month, but can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback for this team?
I was thinking this the whole time we were talking about Zach Wilson. This team would be so good.
Should we talk about the video of Rodgers on the field, like in sneakers, like throwing the football around today?
He's coming back, baby.
I have 2.
I think he is coming back. I'm saying it right now. I think Rodgers will be back. This is
Dolphin sex.
So this is
listening to Dolphins fucking is
was this a
rehab
joke?
Plan.
Was it a joke? It doesn't matter.
I don't think we can assume anything with Rodgers.
Here's my question with the Achilles thing. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, I don't know anything. Is that normal, or is that how much of the timeline is he really beating?"
People
here?
seem
I feel
to
like
be
I have no
surprised.
idea. Yeah,
people seem to be surprised. I had a friend who I played basketball with who tore his Achilles, and it took him like over a year to get to the point where he could play basketball again. And then there was like another year mentally of getting over it. I feel like the way Rodgers looked, like he was just standing, shuffling and throwing. I was like, can he play right now? Like, just like have him throw quick screens. Like,
also,
I feel like what he was doing was good enough.
In the shock of Rodgers getting hurt, we never talked enough about how it was kind of the MetLife turf fault. And Garrett Wilson
Everyone
once again
hates
got hurt.
the MetLife turf, by the way.
I feel like we don't talk enough about how the reason they do the turf. What?
What's up? Like, why
MetLife in particular?
Why do they have turf versus a different state? Like, what goes into the decision-making process of turf versus grass?
Could be wrong. I believe that the entirety of it comes down to you have other events there that are not
so
football
many
games.
people playing there,
and so when
doing
Taylor
shows.
Swift comes, you need to take the turf away and set up a Taylor Swift concert. And then if you want to put the turf back, it's cheaper to put your rubber pellets there and not real grass. And I think that's like the entirety of the reason is it's cheaper.
Money.
And yes, it's just cheaper. And like, I'll never forget, do you remember, what was a snowstorm something last year? Or the Lions, they had to move a game from Buffalo to like Detroit because there was like a lake hurricane coming of snow. I don't know. But there was like, oh, look at this Detroit Lions. They had a Christmas carnival. And then now they have a game and they take the carnival down in one day. And they like had a funny video time lapse of like how fast it went down. And I'm like, that's why all the players get hurt is because there was a carnival at this game yesterday. And then they because what happens is there's slippage. Like they put it back, but there's give and it's concrete underneath. So one, players hate playing on it because it land harder, but then also it just gives, like there's give to it. So Garrett Wilson, literally, what did the quote? Garrett Wilson
like playing
said,
on a loose carpet or something, I'm picturing.
Garrett Wilson today said it is, I wrote it down because I thought it was so funny. I lost it. I believe he said trash. Anyway, but the Jets won.
Before we move on, I just had this thought during the game. I want to throw it at you guys. This is about the Eagles, who again were kind of underwhelming. Obviously, I know that their record is very strong, but I don't know. I will say though, Does anyone in the NFL right now like combine pure physical, like elite size and athleticism and speed and explosiveness with actually being a really good catcher of the football than AJ Brown? It just struck me today how freaking good AJ Brown is, not just as a run after the catch guy or he's big and physical. He has like incredible hands, like the softest hands. He had so many catches that I would put on like the 9.5 rate in like difficulty today. And he just makes them so easily. It's crazy. I just wanted to shout out AJ Brown because I just had that thought that he's just incredible.
It's funny. I was thinking the exact same thing today. He made like 3 deep ball, like feathery fingertip catches.
Yes,
just like
it's
very
like the ball just
beautiful
sticks
and
to
like
his hands.
delicate. Yeah. Yes. And I'm just like, man, AJ Brown is like, he's like DK Metcalf mixed with like Keenan Allen or something.
I didn't want to say it because I'm the DK Metcalf defender, but it's like, this is like what it would be like if DK could catch really well. DK is like physically a wonder, but his hands have always been a little bit hit or miss. Like AJ Brown
he's
is
a little
just
too physical sometimes.
God, seriously, dude. Has anyone told DK Metcalf you can't push a guy down like that?
Yeah. DK Metcalf just takes his anger out.
What happened? Was that guy talking shit? Like that guy didn't even look like he was paying attention to DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf he's a bully out there. He's just picking on people.